Minasan, Akari Nasai. Today we've got Nijigaku's Pride and Joy. She also has a really cool name and a pretty big voice acting resume, so I'll keep the intro short. Akari Kito, born October 16th, 1999 at 9:18 p.m. Yeah, I got super specific details for this one. And she's from the Aichi Prefecture. The last lady I covered was also from this place. But back to Akari, she is currently affiliated with the agency Raccoon Dog. Shoutouts to Tony Chopper. Also shoutouts to Nobuhiko Okamoto, who actually founded the agency. And Akari's music is published under Pony Canyon label. At an early age, she became familiar with anime, games, and manga due to her father's influence. She was in a light music club at her high school and chose to play the bass because she didn't want to stand out. But little did she know that others would have the same thought, so instead she took up the role of vocalist. Akari had always thought that she would become an illustrator, which would end up being her backup plan if she didn't make it as a seiyuu. But right before graduating from high school, she was told by her parents that they could not afford to pay for her university education, and that instead she would have to apply for a scholarship. But she was from Aichi Prefecture, which is 4 hours away from Tokyo, and moving there never really crossed her mind at first. But after consideration, she decided not to waste any money attending a school in Aichi, and instead decided to move to Tokyo to become a voice actress. Seeing as she was still young, 19 to be exact, and she wanted to challenge herself. After a year or two of being in Tokyo, her grandmother was on the verge of passing away. That being coupled with jobs and audition calls being very rare, she was consistently stressed and worried about her financial situation. She considers this to be the most painful time in her life. But luckily, she got through it and she officially began voice acting in 2014. Naturally with very minor roles that year, but 2 of them actually had names. Maki Aika in Invaders of the Rokujoma, and Kana Yajima in Wolf Girl and Black Prince. That Rokujoma role was actually her very first audition while she was still in training. And 2015 was still mostly minor stuff, but in 2016 she had more relevant characters, like the child version of Hiromi Sugita in Erased, and Arya Bata in Taboo Tattoo, but also her first major role, Karen, in Time Boken 24. 2017 is when her career really kicked off. She would start to average 7 or more shows each year. Naturally, I won't go over all of them as this video would be way too long, but I'll try to go over most of the important stuff, like voicing Kaho Hinata from Blend S, also performing live as her. And she voiced Yonaga Hinaguri in Alice and Zoroku, Suzune Horikita in Classroom of the Elite, and Kana Ijima in Surezure Children. All of these are pretty solid shows, honestly. 2018 is another fairly good lineup. Ai Tanahana in the beach volleyball show Harukana Receive, Haas in SSSS Gridman, Misa Nakamura in Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen Noodles, shoutouts to Moipi, Satsuki Usui in 7 Senses of the Reunion, aka Fake Anohana, Rina Shinkai in Aikatsu Friends, and Seiyun Sky in Uma Musume Pretty Derby, also performing as her in live action. Speaking of live action, the final thing for this year is another person she would perform as. Kana Takonoe, joining the Love Live game and later the live action Nijigasaki School Idol Club, and eventually their subunit Quartz. 2019, she debuted as a solo singer with her song Swinging Heart. One of its coupling tracks, During My Distance, was the ending theme for High School Prodigy's Have It Easy Even in Another World. And of course, she would have more voiceover roles, basically all of them being leads. I'll just mention Sayu Tsukisaka in Restage Dream Days, Momo Chiyoda in The Demon Girl Next Door, Karin Sarayashiki in The Ones Within, Aru Honsho in Hitori Bochi, shoutouts to the subber channel Pika Can't Sub, they love this character. Now these last 2 are the more important ones. First, Noa Himesaka in Wataten An Angel Flew Down to Me, joining the seiyuu unit Wataten 5 with her fellow Niji and Quartz member Maria Sashide. Over the years, they've only really had 1 proper single and full album, as well as a character song album, and 1 full recorded live. On the Flying Dog YouTube channel, you can find some of the music videos for them as well. Lastly, this small role in a small anime, Nezuko Kamado in the extremely popular Demon Slayer. Because of this role, she won Best Actress at the New Type Anime Awards in the same year. Now onto 2020, her smallest year in terms of anime. I assume it's for the obvious reason, but she did release a photo book called A Love Route, and 2 new singles, Desire Again, which featured the song Tiny Light, the ending theme for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, voicing Nene Yashiro in the series as well, and Kimi no Tanari, the ending theme for Adachi and Shimamura, where she voiced one of the titular characters, Sakura Adachi, playing opposite to Miku Ito, who is another one of my personal favorites, so shoutouts to this show. But also she had a whole album release titled Style, and Akarin was featured in the digital-only song Koi no Uta, the opening for Tonikawa. where of course she voiced the lead character Tsukasa Yuzaki. Aside from this, she had another lead of Kotoko Iwanagi in Inspector. I said this was a slow year for her, but damn, she really had a lot going on. The last thing is the anime for Love Live Nijigasaki School Idol Club began to air, and she would reprise her role of Sleepy One-chan, Kanata. In 2021, her first mini-album Kaleidoscope was released, as well as her second photo book titled Lumiere. She voiced Mio in Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, Kate Shadow in Shadow's House, a really unique anime, Luna Hila in The Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. Sounds very inappropriate, but it's just your generic isekai. And she also had Arma in the disaster of an adaptation for the series X-Arm. Also, her current agency at the time, Profit, closed down, which eventually led to her joining Raccoon Dog. But to end this year on a more positive note, she won the Best Actress in Supporting Roles at the 15 Seiyu Awards, and Best Actress for the New Type Anime Awards again. Now, last year of 2022, let's start off with her second album, Luminous, and a limited single, Michikusa. Then anime include Toko Usagihara in Akebi's sailor uniform, Erika Amano in A Couple of Cuckoos, Evangeline in Birdie Wing Golf Story, Retzel in Prima Doll, Kana Ogata in Engage Kiss, and Panda Karame in the Dummyhead Mike Show, co-starring with a lot of other Niji girls. And that was only half the roles. Really good year for her. Well, aside from also getting COVID. 2023, this year of the rabbit, she has had 2 new songs. Dear Those Days, ending theme for... Bro, I really wish I was making this up. For the anime, Chillin' in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. They really need an award for the craziest or stupidest anime title each year gives us. Anyway, she voiced Lady in this series. Most generic name and the most creative anime title. Makes sense. Anyway, her 5th most recent single, Maggie Maggie, was just released today. Once again, an ending theme for A Girl and Her Guard Dog, also voicing Isaku Sanagaki. This is currently airing, by the way, and she's had more really long stupid title shows, like voicing Inglis Akis in Reborn to the Master Blade, From Hero King to Extraordinary Squire, and Mabel Crane in the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in Another World. Lastly, she released her 3rd photo book, My Pace. Bless the gods. Oh, actually this year, her alongside the other Niji girls won the singing award at the 17th Seiyu Awards. Next year, she's already got a bunch of stuff lined up, all leads of course, in shows like 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, God's Games We Play, Mission Yozakura Family, and Chained Soldier. Then new seasons of Moonlit Fantasy and Classroom of the Elite. She is always out here grinding. Anime music includes, well, most of the stuff I already talked about with her solo singing career. Also some obvious stuff like singing themes for Blend S, Pretty Derby, Wataten, and Nijigasaki, but also joining the cast for openings and endings in shows like Demon Girl Next Door, UQ Holder, and Last Period, just to name a few. Also having an insert song in Odd Taxi. Then by herself singing one of the endings for that reincarnated exorcist show, and an ending of Kamikatsu, having a little over 25 credits. The last one I want to mention is her song No Continue, opening for Battle Game in 5 seconds. She voiced a character named Yang in this show as well, but the song is so good. A more heavier track than you would think from a Japanese idol. Highly recommend. She even did a full English version too. Now on to video games. The usuals: Kantai Collection, Arc Knights, Magia Record, Azir Lane, Fate Grand Order, Grand Blue Fantasy, Girls' Frontline, Blue Archive, and Alchemy Stars. That's like literally every single one of the usual mobile trash. But she's also got anime tie-in games like Akiba's Beat, Yuki Yuna, Restage, Princess Connect, Ninjala, and Maiden Abyss. Oh, also obviously Love Live and Pretty Derby games. But she's in more popular games like Pokemon Masters EX, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Neo The World Ends With You, River City Girls 2, Dragon Quest Treasures, Fire Emblem Engage, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, having just over 40 gaming credits. There are 2 more though that I haven't mentioned, ones I will give character names for because, well, they're kind of really popular. First, voicing Barbara in Genshin Impact, and next is Ashley Graham in the remake of Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite gaming series ever. She has some overseas dubbing as well, in the DreamWorks movie Boss Baby, though it was a minor character. But what wasn't minor is voicing Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, in Marvel Future Avengers, which is technically an anime since it was made by Madhouse, but it is an overseas property. And it's not even her only Marvel role, as in the live-action MCU, she does dubbing for America Chavez, who debuted in the second Doctor Strange movie. And lastly, she also did dubbing for the recent Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Gran Turismo movies, playing the love interest both times. And now the last career section, concerts. Not too much here. Naturally, being at the only Wataten live the girls have had, there was also the Blend S Festival back in 2018. I'd imagine she's been at least one Pretty Derby concert, most likely more. Those are kind of hard to track down, but what I know for sure is being at all 5 of the main Nijigasaki shows since their debut, and all of the Quartz events as well. But during one of the shows for Niji's 5th, she did have to have choreography altered due to arm pain. Luckily, it was nothing too severe and she's all good now. She was also present for the Love Live 9th Anniversary Festival and the Countdown 2021 Live. Also with those ladies, she's been at Anisama once back in 2019, being with Pretty Derby in 2018, and with her castmates from Akari Sailor Uniform at this year's event. Then as a solo performer once in 2021. Also at Animax only one time in 2019. Then she herself has had 2 full lives, Colorful Closet in 2021 and Mirrors in 2022. This year, she has had a Zep tour in May and June titled Glow Up. Finally, if all goes well, she will be at the Love Live Idolmaster Crossover Live in December. Now, let's move on to the fun facts. I actually have so many, but I'll have to cut them down for this one and save most of them for a video dedicated strictly to that. First, as always, she's 153 centimeters or 5 foot even. On social media, she's got regular Twitter X and Instagram, but also staff versions for both, which are more focused on business. And of course, a YouTube channel where she posts her music. Also some live streams and short promotional videos. Back to Twitter X for a quick second though, she recently got to 700,000 followers. Damn. Aside from some of the Muse girls, she's got the largest following in Love Live. She's also been featured on the Cross Sing YouTube channel, twice in fact, singing covers of Monster from Beastars and Blue Velvet from Dragon Ball GT. Her hobbies are drawing, painting, and singing. She actually posts some of her drawings to Twitter. She said her passion for drawing started back in elementary school when her dad had a computer that she would use to draw using a stylus pen. She would also always visit forums that discuss drawings. She's very good at drawing, by the way, like very, very good. I don't know if I mentioned that in the intro, but yeah. She used to hate her low-pitched voice, saying it was easier to just voice background characters, but voicing Haas and Gridman allowed her to finally use her natural voice. However, since she was so used to acting in a high pitch, she was worried her natural voice wouldn't be as good. But the staff reassured her that she was doing great, which helped her perform at her best. Akari has her beginner's license, so she is allowed to drive, but only with someone who already has a full license. She did say this a few years ago, so it might be different now. But keeping with this, she actually failed her first exam by only 1 point, saying she couldn't study at all because she was practicing for Niji lives. Speaking of, she thinks of the other Niji girls as her little sisters, except for Chemi, who is the only one older than her. While in school, Akari had part-time jobs at various dental clinics, including the one her mom worked at, also working part-time as an illustrator for a mobile app, and when she first joined her agency Profit, there wasn't much work, so she actually had a part-time job at a ramen shop. When asked what overseas country she would like to study in, she replied with Hawaii, then Italy, then Russia, and finally France. Her favorite foods consist of fresh meat, sushi, and tonkotsu ramen, while her favorite drink is carbonated juice. Then her favorite performers are Lisa and the band Mrs. Green Apple. Her favorite aqua girl is Ruby. All of the good artists seem to like that little cutie. She used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and she is also an avid player of Pokemon and Animal Crossing, and has even posted a few clips to her Twitter over the years. She has a bit of a habit of looking to her top right while she's thinking. I actually think I might have this habit too. She cannot swim and doesn't even like going to the pool. Prior to her recent photo book, she has never bought a swimsuit or even wore one other than her school one. Now that she has one, she still really doesn't want to go to public pools. In high school, she didn't like being confessed to and would turn everyone down, but there was one persistent boy apparently who she finally agreed to go out with. But after 3 days, she was already over it. Big F for that guy. Now in her adulthood, she still doesn't really understand the idea of a confession. And now for the last little bit here, time to get a little scandalous. In October of 2021, Akari was seen with fellow voice actor Yuya Hozumi, and a news outlet posted an article claiming that they are dating and maybe even living together. And the Japanese fan base, being the way that they are, they didn't really like that very much. But I did see some positive comments on her Twitter from the Japanese audience. This was of course after she denied everything, saying that they are just good friends. It was a little amusing and annoying though that the Japanese fan base was not happy about her having a boyfriend, but all the English posts I saw about it, well, everyone was hyped for her and encouraging her. It really is a shame that being a female public figure in Japan basically means you have to sell your life away. So much so that this year of 2023, it was basically confirmed that they are dating, which led to her losing a lot of fans in the process. And her most recent single at the time did very poorly in the sales department. Online reporters went so far as to say that her music career as an idol is basically over, which is really, really stupid. I don't want to get too much into it, but I disagree, and I think she'll be doing just fine in the years to come. So let's move on to the final fact. The anime tracking website MyAnimeList has a ranking of the most popular people on the website, including voice actors of all languages, authors, illustrators, and even music people. Out of all these people, Akari is ranked at 77th. So internationally, I think she is still very popular and loved. Also with that, we have reached the ending. Akari's solo singing career is actually my favorite out of all the seiyuu that I follow. With Miku Ito being a very close second, I definitely recommend that you listen to all of their music. Also, one more odd coincidence that happened this year. She is the exact same age as her two other co-stars in Blend S, and both of them got married this year. Even one of the girls in the supporting cast got married recently. I'm sure Akari's boyfriend is feeling quite some pressure now. Wouldn't be surprised if the big event happens next year. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something new. Please join me in the next one about the first Anisong singer I'll be covering. She's also kind of a seiyuu now too. As always, I look forward to seeing you there.